Good morning, dear students. Welcome to HSC English second paper class conducted by Khulna Government Girls College, Khulna under the guidance of our respected principal sir, Professor T.M. Zakir Hussain, to bring your class at home. Last class, I discussed the transformation of sentences, simple to complex, complex to compound, and vice versa in 8 rules. Today, I will show you the transformation of sentences part 2. In this section, I will discuss only simple to complex because we have already discussed compound sentence in our last class. And we know in a compound sentence, we connect two clauses with coordinating conjunctions. We mainly use 3 coordinating conjunctions. They are and, but, and or. When we use and in a compound sentence, if there is a logical connection between two clauses in a compound sentence, we use and, as she studied hard and got a plus. In this sentence, we can see here 2 clauses. She studied hard and got a plus. If anyone studies hard, she will get a plus. It is very logical and it is very expected. That's why here we have used and. Now when we will use but in a compound sentence, if there is an illogical relation between 2 clauses in a compound sentence, we use but. For example, she studied hard but failed in the exam. Here you can see she studied hard but failed in the exam. If anyone studies hard and she will do better something in the exam, it is very logical and it is also very expected. But here you can see she studied hard but failed in the exam. It is very unexpected and very illogical. That's why we have used here but. Now when we will use or in a compound sentence, if there is an option before you or if you can choose one thing from other, in that case you use or in a compound sentence, as study hard or fail in the exam. You can see study hard,
You will.
or
You will.
you or sorry, or you will fail in the exam. Here you can see study hard or you will fail in the exam. In this sentence there are two options before you. If you study hard, you will pass in the exam, and if you want to fail in the exam, you did not study hard at all. That's why we have used here or in this compound sentence. My dear students, for your information, subordinating conjunctions are 7 in number. We can remember it with a mnemonic: fan, boys. Fan, boys. Here, F for A for ant, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. We can use any one from the 7 for making a compound sentence, but mainly we use and, but, and or. This all about the compound sentence. Today I will show you only simple to complex. My dear students, we know a simple sentence contains a subject and a finite verb. It means in a simple sentence there is a single clause. On the other hand, a complex sentence contains two clauses: a subordinate clause and a principal clause, and the subordinate clause connects with subordinating conjunctions such as when, since, because, etc. Today I will use some keywords or phrases which is used in simple sentence, and if you want to make it complex sentence, we have to expand these keywords or phrases into subordinate clause. Now let's start. We can see here if there noun plus present participle, if there is noun plus present participle in a simple sentence, if we want to make it a complex sentence, we have to expand this phrase or keywords into a subordinate clause. Just as following this structure, just as the students sitting in the class are brilliant. The students sitting in the class are brilliant. It's a simple sentence. Here you can see students is a noun and sitting is a present participle. Here this phrase exists in this sentence. If we want to make it complex, we have to expand this phrase into a subordinate clause following this structure, just like it. Complex. The students, as it is a personal noun, it is the name of a person, that's why here we will use who auxiliary. As it is plural, here we will use a plural auxiliary verb, who are sitting in the class are brilliant. It's a complex sentence. The students who are sitting in the class are brilliant. Number 2. If there is a noun plus V3 in a simple sentence, if we want to make it complex, we have to expand this phrase or this phrase into a subordinate clause. Then a simple sentence will become a complex sentence. As an example here, the man injured in the accident is my friend. If we here, man is the noun and injured is the first participle. If we want to make this sentence into a complex, we have to expand this phrase into a subordinate clause as complex. The man who is injured in the accident is my friend. The man who is injured in the accident is my friend. Now number 3.
যখন এক্সপ্লেন করবে সামনে থাকবে।
Here you can see if there is object plus present participle in a simple sentence, if we want to make it complex, we have to expand these phrases into a subordinating clause following this structure. For example, I saw him going up the hill. Here you can see him is an object, and after the object there is present participle going. If you want to make it complex, we have to follow this structure. Actually, this object will start after the verb, after the part of a sentence. Here, complex. I saw him, and then when the subject. Actually, each will the subjective form this object. Here the object is him and the subjective form of this object is he. When he, as it is past sentence, so here we will use auxiliary verb of the from past sentence. He was going up the hill. Number 4. Adjective plus noun. there is an adjective plus noun in a simple sentence. If we want to make it complex, we have to expand these keywords into a subordinating clause following this structure. In this way, the greedy businessmen are responsible for price hike. Here we have to expand adjective plus noun. Here greedy is adjective and businessman is noun. Actually it is a black cat formula. How? We can expand this phrase in this way. Greedy businessmen, the businessmen who are greedy. The wise man, the man who is wise. Actually the black cat, the cat which is black. In that way we can make it a clause. Here the greedy businessman, adjective plus noun. If we want to make it complex sentence, we have to expand this part in this way. Here the noun, actually the noun, here we will use this one. The noun is here businessman. The businessman, then who are, adjective, this adjective here, who are greedy. The remaining part of the sentence are responsible for price hike. The businessmen who are greedy are responsible for price hike. Number 5. If there is a name, if there is a name of a person after the possessive case in a simple sentence, if we want to make it complex, we have to expand this phrase into a subordinating clause in this way, as simple, I know his name. Here we can see it's a noun after the possessive case, his. If we want to make it complex, we have to follow this. Here complex will be I know his name. We use here what his name is. Number 6.
Quick, quick.
Here we can see his birthplace. If there is a name of a place after the possessive case in a simple sentence, if we want to make it complex, we have to follow this as I know his birthplace. Here you can see his birthplace. If you want to make it complex, we have to explain this phrase.
Expand.
I know where he was born. I know where he was born. There is another example about it. I know his residence. Here it also expresses the name. It is also the name of a place. That's why we also here follow this structure. I know where he resides or lives. I know where he resides or lives. Number 7. The time of plus ing. When plus subject plus auxiliary plus ing. If there is at the time of plus gerund in a simple sentence, if we want to make it complex, we have to expand these phrases into a subordinate clause, and then a simple sentence will become complex. For example, here simple, she woke up at the time of raining. Here we can see at the time of plus gerund. If you want to make it complex, we have to follow this. Complex. She woke up. Here when it was raining. Here we have used it for the subject. Number 8. On, at, in plus time. When plus subject, here we will use it as a subject plus verb plus time. If there is on or at or in plus time in a simple sentence, if we want to make it complex, we have to expand these keywords into a subordinate clause following this structure. Here, on Pohela Boishakh roads and streets become crowded. Here you can see on is a preposition and plus time. Actually, Pohela Boishakh, the occasional, it expresses the occasion of Pohela Boishakh, at the time of Pohela Boishakh. If we want to make it complex, we have to follow this structure. At first, we will write here when, and as a subject, in that case, we will write it. When